Hello everyone, and welcome to Adobe Live. I'm your host, Kieran, freelance graphic designer based in London. And today is part 2 of Adobe Live session with the lovely brand designer, Whitney Kerney. Whitney, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm feeling a little better from being under the weather. So I'm excited to be back for day 2.
Excited to have you. Awesome.
Yeah.
So, nice. Just a few things to sort of kick off to tell our audience. So definitely remember to check out our brand new Illustrator Daily Creative Challenge with Andrew Hortreddle every weekday at 11:30 a.m. Pacific time. Definitely tune in, boost your graphic design skills. It'll be awesome. And today is a really good one because we also have our Artist Spotlight. And so for those of you who don't know about Artist Spotlight, it's a segment to celebrate our creators and our community. So it's a good one. So definitely stay tuned in that. And I can see everyone's coming in the chat. Nice, thick and fast for you, Whitney. We've got Jack, we've got Voodoo Val, the awesome Voodoo Val, keeping everything nice and safe. We've got Clever, Monica, Nadia, Felix, and yeah, Isabel. Lovely to see you guys. Welcome. And yeah, Whitney, I mean, it'd be good to sort of give a bit of an overview for those who missed from yesterday's one about who you are and what you did yesterday, and we can go straight into it.
Well, I'm Whitney. For those tuning in for the first time, I'm the brand designer behind WK Creative. Yeah, all the things that you see behind WK Creative, that's me. I'm attracted to all things beauty, fashion, so that I enjoy expressing that creatively through my style of design. So yeah, for y'all, for first tuning in, we talked about brand strategy. We are designing a branding for a floral design studio based in Austin, Texas. Remi Gold. So yesterday we talked about brand strategy. We created a mood board. We developed a color palette, and then we put together the font suite for Remi Gold. And then today we're going to be tackling logos and patterns. So I'm super excited.
Nice. Patterns. That sounds awesome. And again, for anyone who's again quite new, and if you're on Behance perhaps, definitely pop over to YouTube and you can write your comments in the Behance chat. And that's on b.net/Adobe Live. And I can send Whitney directly those chats and lovely comments. So any questions you might have about Whitney and her design process, ping them over and I'll get them directly to her while she creates some lovely magic today. So yeah, Whitney, I'm super excited to get in the flow of it.
Yeah. So today, like I said, we're going to be tackling logos and then patterns. And then hopefully we can maybe design a few pages to kind of stylize and see how the branding looks in full swing.
Nice.
So before I usually start customizing logos, like the lettering within the logos, I always like to type out a few typefaces that I'm loving to use as like a base for the logo. Then I kind of start mix matching the letters from other typefaces just to see if any of them work well together. And then I just go from there.
Nice process.
Yeah. So with Remi Gold's logo, I really wanted to bring in like a chic typeface. And I touched base on it briefly yesterday about how I was really inspired by the typefaces that you see within wedding stationery. So I really wanted that to come through within Remi Gold's logos. So we just wanted to target that high-end wedding clientele that they have in their target audience. So let's start designing this out.
And you had a lovely, I mean, yesterday the color palette was really, I mean, I can see Vida's already loving the colors.
Oh my gosh, I love these colors. Let's look at it again.
It was great. Quick. It was, I think we had like a nice comment about the sort of Napoleon ice cream style, didn't we?
I feel like my shirt kind of matches the bleach mauve. I was kind of inspired by the color palette today. So I was like, let me wear something that's in the palette.
It's a strong palette. I love it.
Yeah, on brand.
It's so cool.
So let's build some logos.
Awesome. We got Voodoo Val who just asked, what is the font that you're using there for Remi Gold?
It's like a combination of. So let me type out a few and let's see. So the first one, let's do this typeface called Love.
I love the ampersand as well.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So
I love
profound.
it. I know. And
It's
then there's one, I believe it's called Magnolia. Yeah, Magnolia. And then there's this one called Abram. I can't pronounce it. It's like Abramo or something. This one's super fun too. I love like all the different ligatures and the different alternatives. I can't pronounce this one either, but this one's like a fun one as well.
I'm loving the art, that kerning on the art.
I know,
how that's kind of
so
it's
cute,
funky,
right?
it's cool. It's very nice.
So I think I'm gonna start with this one first. Use this as like a base here. Let me blow it up so people can kind of see it.
And again, for those in the chat, I mean, a massive welcome, and definitely sort of get those questions. Any sort of questions you have for Whitney about her design process, the fonts she's using, the colors, or even just about Whitney as herself as a creative, like definitely get those comments in the Behance chat, and I will share them with Whitney. So yeah, excited to see them.
So let's like start mix matching some things here. I really like this R, so I think I'm gonna keep this R.
I love the E. It's like super skinny, like slim fit E, isn't it?
Yeah,
So
I actually ended up like kind of changing it up a little bit here.
Mix it up.
Yeah, let's see what other ones we have here for different.
We've got a lovely question actually from, I hope I'm saying this correctly, Mwendwa, who said, do you have a brand identity book you can suggest for someone to study?
Ooh, that's a very good question. I believe it's called, oh my God, I don't know the title. I might have to circle back to that. But it's like, I think it's like by this girl named Emily, but it's like I keep thinking the word obsession. It's like branding, like obsessive branding or something. I'm gonna have to circle back to that. That's a good question though, but there is a lot of books out there. I don't know many, but like I know a lot of artists and creatives, like they are always like putting like branding books on their story to like recommend. And I'm always like screenshotting, but of course I'm drawing a blank.
No, that's all good.
When I'm put on the spot.
And by all means, I mean, if anyone's got any, I can see Isabel's put in a nice brand book as well. So anyone who's got any ideas for any brand identity books, sharing is caring. It's all good. Get those comments in the chat and we can share. And yeah. All
right. So I think I'm liking kind of like this style, this flow. So let's go into like customizing it a bit here.
Totally imagine. I think we said yesterday, like nicely embossed on like a book, golden.
Yeah.
It'd be really nice.
So of course, like when we design logos, we want it to look good across like multiple mediums. So that's always like something to keep in mind when we're designing logos here.
Definitely. I can see some lovely suggestions for branding books, which is really good. Really good work,
okay,
guys.
Please let me know because I'm drawing a blank over here.
We've got Monica said made by James. It's a book on Amazon, and then we've got
I've heard about that one.
Obsessed by Emily Hayward.
That's it. I knew it was Obsessed, and then I knew it was a girl named Emily. But yeah, no, that is the book. I'm constantly finding quotes from that book, and I that's the book that I would recommend.
No, 10 points to Jack. Good one.
That's it. Yeah, that was it. Nice I was like, I keep thinking of the word obsessed. That's it.
Awesome.
So I'm really loving this. So it's not, sometimes you don't need much with with logos. Sometimes you don't need to over customize it. I feel like sometimes it just needs just enough.
I guess you can always oh no, sorry, go for it.
Oh no, I was gonna say with Remi Gold, I felt like since we found like a really strong base, like with like that chic type base, like I feel like it didn't need much. It just needed some sprucing to make it a little bit more unique. Yeah.
I love that. It's just quite cool because you can always as well, like with how you've done on the left, but you sort of stack them as well. You can stack and you can, do alignment. It's quite nice how you can kind of play, especially because it's two lines. It's Remi and Gold. It's like a nice way of working with it. It's cool. Yeah.
So let's move these to the side. So we're loving this. So obviously this is one of the variations. So I'm thinking that I would probably squeeze this over a little bit. That way it all kind of lines up. I don't know, I might squeeze it in a little bit more.
Nice. And Whitney, as well, for those again who are maybe perhaps it's their first session today with you, and like a bit of background, like yourself. I mean, where are you based at the moment now? So
I'm in Florida. I'm in Jacksonville, Florida.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
We sort of said before we came on the live today, like the time difference as well. It's quite. So I'm in London, so it's like nighttime here, daytime for you. So it's all good.
I know, and it gets darker earlier right now, so the sun kind of slowly starts setting during our stream.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
and again, for those in the chat, wherever you're sort of tuning in from, whether it's an iPad or desktop, be put in the chat where you guys are streaming from. It'd be good to. No, I know it's a global platform, which is amazing. So like, definitely put it in there. We can share. Sharing is caring. It's all good.
So yeah, I think that looks pretty darn good to me. Let's see if we can build out some other variations here.
The ampersand, the way that curl and the ampersand, it's like it's a lot happening there, isn't it?
Yeah.
it's really lovely, really nice. And the background for Remi and Gold. So again, for those who are quite new, would you like to sort of explain a bit about like Remi and Gold, like what they do and who they are?
Yeah. So Remi and Gold is a floral design studio based in Austin. They cater to high-end wedding clientele. They do these amazing, beautiful installations for larger brands such as like Southwest by Southwest, and they are trying to open up a platform for other like creatives to kind of teach other, I guess, like floral designers and things of that nature. So that's like one of their long-term goals is to like set up like kind of like an educational platform as well, which is really, really cool.
Nice. That's kind. I remember yesterday as well. So for yesterday's session, it was nice because obviously this kind of style of design is something that you like as well personally, right? So it's quite a nice client to kind of work with and kind of put some impactful work on it because you're really interested in it, which is really cool.
Yeah, no, I absolutely love it. Yeah.
That's really cool. And those fonts, were they fonts like that you installed yourself from, say, Adobe Fonts, or did you find from different platforms where, just so again, for those quite new?
Yeah, so I like Adobe is definitely one that I go to for font inspiration. If I don't find anything on like the Adobe website or the Adobe Typekit website, I usually kind of go through my own bank. If I'm not feeling anything in there, then I'll start kind of doing like a little deep dive into third-party inspirations like Typewolf or like You Work for Them, just to name only a couple.
Nice.
Yeah, so, and then I usually download like a trial font, like this is like a trial font, just to kind of get a feel for it first before I decided to, take the plunge and buy a font license, because we all know how expensive font licensing are. So the trial fonts are always nice to play around with first before, you do decide to be like, okay, I need to go ahead and get this font license purchased. And
nice.
Let's see. So yeah, so I'm just trying to do like kind of like I'm trying to have like that little tagline of like what their business is for one variation. So Remi and Gold. So like, their target audience can be like, okay, so what is Remi and Gold? So they'll know that it's like a floral studio. So it's always good to have like different variations.
And I like as well, like how especially because you've got giving more information on the, who they are. So you've got like a different type of font from like a sans serif to serif, which is quite nice as well. So it's nice to get that nice contrast.
Yeah, it's like a nice, combination.
Very nice.
So I want to like kind of line this one up here to, let's see, I always kind of like use a line as like a guide to kind of line it up. I don't know if that's really best practice, but it works for me.
We were saying, I think yesterday was quite nice because I guess everyone's got their own kind of styles, right? And ways of how to operate, and obviously you can use like alignment tool and
I mean, you could definitely, I mean, there's guides. I don't have them up here in the Illustrator, but I mean, you can obviously pull down a guide and things like that. But sometimes when you're in the flow of things, a line here and there it's helpful.
You can call it like bespoke design. It's all good.
Yeah. You just gotta do what you gotta do sometimes.
It's a method to the madness. I love
it. Right. Nice. So it's looking pretty good.
I like it.
Yeah. I mean, I may make this slightly bigger, maybe. Yeah.
I guess just putting it out there, you could maybe even do like the one above, like a one line of like the text, potentially that could reach the end of Remi and Gold.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just an idea.
Yeah.
Very nice ideas out there.
I love these. It's super fun. And I just see this on like, I can just see it on like different mediums, like collateral, or, you know, I can even see it like as like a store sign or like even just like as a stamp or something, or like a cutout or something. Like I could see it, like it's like that embossed, like you were mentioning. Has a nice little effect to it. Yeah.
Definitely embossed. We've got a lovely question actually from Voodoo Val, who said, what are some things that inspire you, Whitney, to create? That's a good question.
Ooh, oh my gosh, I'm inspired by so many things. I think obviously art and beauty inspire me the most. I think anything like aesthetically pleasing inspires me and just makes me want to create even more. Interior design, I will say interior design is up there with like number one of like what inspires me. Just like the textiles of different like rugs and things. It's just, especially when it comes to like my patterns, I'm like constantly taking pictures of like different rugs and like like home decor in general. Like I'm just like, oh, that would be cute to be like kind of implement into a pattern of some sort, you know, for like a client one day, you know. So I'm always like taking pictures of things that inspire me like throughout my day. But interior design is up there. Yeah, I think just beauty, art, and like design in general, it's just so inspiring.
I can even tell even from your backdrop, like it's your color palette looks very similar to even on screen, know, which is great. Very cool, very nice.
Yeah, so I feel like that's good for now.
It'd be good to know as well, even in the chat for, you know, because again, it's quite nice with the different audience that we have in Adobe Live, whether you're, you know, say a senior creative or someone who's just for the first time wanting to know about design. You know, how do you find inspiration? What do you find inspiring? You know, it could be anything. So definitely get in the chat what you kind of, you know, tend to find inspiration from, indoors, outdoors. Get it in the chat and we can share them with.
Let me know. I always love to know what other people, look at me like totally messing this one up. Let me undo that.
That's all good.
Yeah, let me group this so I don't, let me lock it. But no, I love to know like what other, like what other people are inspired by. Like, it's just like people in general are super inspiring too. Like when I was back designing clothes, like I know like people and like how they style certain things, that was super inspirational for me. And like that kind of like helped me come up with ideas for, different styles of clothing and different new pieces for my collections and things like that.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, I always find like when I'm designing and it's very easy, almost get tunnel vision if you're just at home, and I always have to go out for a walk or just people watching and like drawing and those, my brain kind of, I don't know, ideas kind of come flooding in when you just have an opportunity just to get away from, say, the screen and digest. And Voodoo Val's actually got a good point. Like even music or stories, do you listen to any music? Like what's your vibe, Whitney, when you're designing?
Oh, goodness. So of course I love R&B, but I'm actually very, very into like electronic music. Like Disclosure is like one of my favorite people, like favorite, DJs.
Okay.
Disclosure, and aren't they? I think they're based in London. I feel
there are. A little fun fact for you, actually. One of their relatives went to my sister's school. Actually, there we go. I won't name drop, but that was a little.
I was supposed to see them back in May of 2020, but then of course COVID happened, so I was devastated that I couldn't see them. But I can't wait for them to go back on tour. Disclosure, I love them. Honestly, like I love like listening anything from like the BBC.
BBC?
Because they play a lot of electronic music. I love it.
Nice.
But I don't like
Okay.
electronic music where it's just instrumentals. Like it has to have lyrics, and it has to have like an R and
Ah,
B. It has to have like an R&B influence to it too. So that's why I love Disclosure, because they always partner with like Sam Smith and like Neo, and
mm,
um, I'm like thinking of, I can't think of the, oh, like a Luna George. I love a Luna George, which I think they're
okay.
from London as well.
I just love it. It's like I don't know them personally,
Yeah,
by the way, because they're from London,
yeah,
but I do love that. See, it's weird because
yeah.
I guess I'm on the other side of the fence because when I'm designing, I love listening to music as well, but it has to be something to be instrumental because when it's lyric, I mean, I'm singing
Like
away
very
and I
ambient
almost have to
music.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, like ambient, even if, like if it's like I don't even know the Hans Zimmer like soundtrack or something. Like I almost get a bit
Okay.
too intense, but
I
I
actually
can do
like
a bit
ambient
of
music too, like Soul Rising. Like it's something so
that.
like calming about ambient music that like when I'm working, I typically don't listen to a lot of music when I'm working because it kind of distracts me. I'm gonna blame it on my ADHD brain. But I
Yeah.
love listening to podcasts while I'm working.
Yes.
But I can't do it for long because like I'll start getting distracted and
Mm.
then but yeah.
Definitely get your inspirations in there. And I can see so really Val made a good one. And this is a really good show actually. So she gets inspiration from the Netflix show Arcane, which I don't know if you've seen that
Oh, I
before.
don't
That
think
is
I've
an
heard
awesome show.
that.
That is very
What's that
cool.
show about? I wonder. I
Or
should
I want
just
to let
go and
Voodoo Val explain it in the chat
I'm
rather
like,
than me
I was
trying
like,
to
if she
pretend
can
and
explain it in the
make
chat, let me
it.
know.
It is very good, but it's a very like almost like the animation they're using it is almost like brushstrokes of like an actual
Ooh,
design. It's
okay.
incredible. So
I love me
yeah,
some brushstrokes.
would definitely recommend that. We've got Isabel who said, so whenever I want to get inspiration, I turn to words because sometimes seeing other
Okay.
designs makes me want to copy. So yeah, I get that.
Yeah. I try not to look at other like design work, like branding work, because it definitely like even if you don't intend to copy, like it'd still be like in your subconscious.
I
So I
influence,
try,
right?
yeah. So you try not to like as a designer, you try not to look at other designers' work. But yeah, but I do love like looking at books and like kind of like for more like so like layout inspiration, like because it's like you can
Mm,
kind of you can be influenced by like a layout of something and kind of transform that into a logo. So like yeah, you could do it in like
mm.
your own way and put your own flair to it.
I'll tell you, and I say that works quite nicely to the next part. Where I mean, again, with Adobe
Yeah.
Live, what we're doing now, you're seeing, Whitney designing fresh with her process, and a lot of the stuff we do on Adobe Live, it's seeing other creatives, how they operate, how they work. So that's a really good source of inspiration too. So
Yeah.
even when we're not working anymore, definitely check out some of the streams, and you can have a look at that as well, and hopefully be inspired. So all
Yeah.
good.
So yeah, so these are some logo variations that we have designed, and I'm absolutely obsessed. I'm thinking these look good.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I like the last one actually. It's quite nice
Yeah.
in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah, it's simple. It's simple but chic.
We got a nice question
It reminds me
from.
of like simple luxury, and I love that.
I could definitely see that working. Yeah, very
Yeah.
nice. We've got Christine who said, "This is a good one actually." So, if you could describe your design style, Whitney, in one word, what word would it be?
Ooh, feminine.
Nice.
Feminine. Yeah, it's very feminine. I'm
That's all
influenced
good.
by all things feminine. Pinks are definitely my go-to.
Yeah, I remember yesterday when we were sort of choosing our favorite colors. We had like the little greens at the bottom, and that was kind of drawn to
Yeah.
my one. But yeah, it's a nice collection you've got up
Yeah,
there as well. Pinks and
blush
greens.
is definitely my go-to.
The names
Any
were
shade
cool
of
as
pink.
well.
Yeah, no, Pantone, I feel like Pantone, I didn't like usually sometimes I'll go in and like rename them just to be fun.
Mm,
But Pantone, they always have like the best names. So it's like sometimes I don't even want to change them.
they do.
Change the
They
brand color
yeah.
names. Yeah. Like
It is a
wild
strong
rose. Like
name.
of course I keep talking about this wild rose color. This is like my favorite color out of this palette. But wild rose is such a cute name, and like mauve glow. Like that's so cute. And
It sounds
bleach
like
mauve.
indie. It sounds like indie bands in like the 80s. I feel like
It does.
it
It
could
does. That
easily
is
be like
so
a band.
funny. But
I'll go for
yeah,
it.
so yeah, that is 3 logo variations for Remi and Gold, very inspired by wedding stationery. We wanted it to, be very, very chic, very feminine, very modern, but, targets that high-end wedding clientele. But then it also still kind of gives like a very eclectic vibe too. So it'll still cater to, their larger brands that they are trying to target, like Southwest by Southwest.
Mm.
which I love. Yeah.
And how did you, just a question again for maybe new people, for new audience, how did you connect with Remi and Gold? Like what was how did you guys kind of get on your radar?
I mean, I guess they filled out my inquiry. They found me, I guess through
Nice.
Instagram, I'm assuming. And they just, they reached out through my inquiry form on my website. And then it was just like a match made in heaven since.
That is amazing.
Yeah, they reached out like right before I went on vacation in August. And so like we scheduled a discovery call. So when I got back from vacation, they were like one of the first calls I hopped on. And it was just like, I was like, I have to work with them. And it's just, and then like the fact that they have like, they are very, they love like astrology and things like that. And I thought that was really cool. It's just that we connected on so many different levels. And then like, one of their gals, Whitney, she's an Aries and I'm a Whitney and I'm an Aries. So it was just really cool. We just
I love that, the vibes.
I feel like I was booked just for that. I'm just kidding.
The stars aligned.
Yeah,
and you just,
that's how I felt. Like I was just like, y'all are like literally my dream client. Like, I mean, I've been very blessed this past year to work with like absolute dream clients. But yeah, Remi and Gold was something that I was like, their style, I was like, oh my God, yes, I can execute this perfectly. But yeah, so yeah, it was just, the stars aligned, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity to, design for them. And I'm really excited because we'll be launching their website this month. So I'm really, really excited to kick that or launch that.
And that's like, I guess that's the dream, isn't it? Again, we sort of touched on it yesterday, but when you can really connect and vibe well with a client, it's just, I mean, you're able to produce perhaps your best work, right? Because you're invested in it, and it's just like, you really want to make it work. So it's it doesn't always happen, but yeah, it's definitely when it happens, it's great.
Yeah, absolutely. It just makes your process go so much more smoother. It just like makes you less stressed as a designer, and it's like you just produce like your best work. Like you produce, like you can see like, like I always like to think that like my style of design is heart led, and I feel like that comes through when you have a client that like your energy is aligned and you're like aligned with their mission, like you believe in their passions too. Like it's just, everything just comes together so beautifully.
And that's actually, that works quite nice with Carol's question actually in the chat, which is a lovely one. So who else would you be your dream client, would you say, Whitney?
Oh, goodness.
Besides Remi and Gold, of course. Who else would be? Good question, really good question.
Oh my God, I think I mentioned them yesterday on the stream, but Glossier, like I like their design team is like, I would love to just like sit and talk with their design team. Like I just feel like, can I be a fly on the wall? Like I would love to learn from you guys. Like I love Glossier. Like that's a dream client for sure. Anyone in like that beauty space is definitely a dream client. Cause I'm just so passionate, obviously, by beauty, like lifestyle and fashion brands.
Well, you never know, Whitney. We might have someone from Glossier in the Adobe live chat.
Right?
Yeah, just
Glossier,
reaches out.
Hit me up. I've been dreaming to work with y'all since I started like graphic design.
A little plug there. I love that.
I know.
I think someone yesterday mentioned someone mentioned like a really good brand, which was Ben and Jerry's. That didn't really come to me, but that would be quite an interesting brand. I mean, I'm going off piece now from luxury fashion to Ben and Jerry's. That's how my mind is operating. But yeah,
Ben and Jerry's is a very luxury ice cream brand, though. If you think about it,
that is true. There we go. I love how you
got some luxury flavors. They got some luxury flavors.
They do.
Strawberry shortcake.
That could be a Pantone reference. Strawberry shortcake.
You know what? I was about to say I think it is, but I'm thinking of strawberry cream. That's definitely a Pantone swatch, a strawberry cream, because I've used it before. But yeah, Ben and Jerry's was definitely one of Remi and Gold's brand inspirations when they filled out their branding questionnaire. So I think that's really cool that we mentioned that.
Nice.
But yeah.
And another question too. Sorry, I didn't interrupt you.
Oh no, go ahead. What was the question? I wasn't going to say anything.
So it's another question from Voodoo Val, which is a good one. It's still on this topic of clients. So how do you, also, so to add, how does Whitney find clients in general? Or how do you find clients in general? Yeah.
I always like to say that I let like energy, like attract energy. And I don't like, I kind of pride myself on not chasing clients either. So I just really let my work speak for itself. And like, I feel like as long as you're putting out like the work that you're passionate about, it'll attract your dream clients. I just believe that you just put your best foot forward, and then it's just, you'll start seeing, like that work come in, like those inquiries come in. But everyone goes through slow seasons too. which is, I feel like slow seasons are definitely a blessing in disguise, because it's like you'll be able to like, you know, do some housekeeping that you weren't able to get accomplished. But I think as long as you're putting like, you're, you know, showing work that you're passionate about, and like you're showing work that you want to do more of, like that helps attract your dream clients. But I pride myself on not like chasing clients, and I pride myself on like energy. Like as long as energy, I feel like attracting the right energy is something that I like pride myself on too.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, you made a really good point as well about the idea of even when you, and again, most designers, you know, we always have it, you know, freelance, whether it's you've been doing it for years or you're just starting out, you might have some quiet spells. And I guess it's still being proactive in that, you know, sort of quiet space, whether it's doing your portfolio, your website. There's always things you could be doing, right? In that background. So
and I feel like it's just, those slow seasons are so important, because like you can maybe build a mock business and of maybe a client that you've been wanting to work with. Like maybe you want to actually brand an ice cream brand, you know, or something. So maybe make up a business and like, you know, create that branding for that ice cream brand. And then you'll start, you know, gradually start seeing, you know, ice cream brands reaching out, you know. I feel like when you would like put out the energy that you want to attract, like you start attracting it. Like I'm all about manifestation and, you know, prayer. And I'm very, like, I love all that stuff. I believe in everything like that.
Nice. Some lovely questions. And I mean, by the way, the questions coming in thick and fast while I'm putting you through the design flow, but some really good ones. So we've got Artmate, I hope I said that correctly. What are the most important things to add to a brand identity, which quite nice. We're kind of covering these bits bit by bit, aren't we, in today's and yesterday's session? But what would you say, like the main key points would you say in terms of brand identity?
I think your essentials, like like your brand is more than a logo for sure. So you definitely need like a full logo suite. Like you need your colors, like you need your fonts. Like I even think like having branding elements is definitely very, very important. I even think like having like social media branding is important too. Like, you know, creating like branded graphics. So that way your branding, like, you know, like you're more than just your logo. Like your branding is like being conveyed in like a different like medium, like their social media graphics. So you want it to like reach like different platforms. Like you don't want it to just be like, oh, I have a nice logo in my social media profile. You know, like you want to have like nice highlight covers too. Like you want to have like your branding reach like different, you know, areas. But I think having like those essentials are key in having like a successful brand identity. So definitely like, you know, your logo suite, like your colors and your fonts, and then like, you know, your patterns and design elements. And I will definitely say social media branding too is like making sure that like your branding is being conveyed through social media. Because I feel like sometimes like you like, okay, I did my branding, but like, how do I style this on social media? Like, I feel like sometimes people like get stuck right there. They're like, okay, so how am I going to showcase my branding on social media?
That's a very good point. I think, in fact, you touched on exactly what I was going to go next about social media, because I always find I'd rather take, say, 2 months out and actually build my archive of social media assets. And then I can kind of strategically, in opposed to just jump online and almost drip feed, but it takes like one every week and kind of, you know, dies a slow death in a way because you haven't got enough content.
And it just goes back to what we were talking about yesterday about posting with purpose. It's like, so if you do need to take like a little hiatus to get your P's and Q's together, so that way your strategy is down, like that, like I'm all for that. Like you'd rather have like your strategy in place than just to post, because that's not going to attract your ideal client. Like that's not going to attract your ideal customer, or, you know, so forth.
Very true. That was a killer gem yesterday. Was it post with purpose? I remember that was like
post with purpose. Like you want
it on t-shirts.
And it's hard. Like it's hard. Like as like, you know, as a business owner, you feel like you want to be in the forefront of everyone. Like you want to like be in front of everyone at all times, because you're like, well, if I don't post, then I'm not going to get business. Like I know it's hard, and it's like has like that, you had that pressure to post every single day, but like, you know, I'm learning like in this business, it's like you have to have strategy behind that post. Like you can't just post just to post. Like a pretty post is all cool, but like, does it have strategy? Like, does it have purpose?
The substance, isn't it? It's like, the chocolate teapot. It's just, I love that. But cool. Very good.
So these are the logos, and so I think that we should probably hop on over to Adobe Fresco.
Nice.
And design some patterns. Yeah.
That is awesome. I love this work. It's quite cool because you've integrated, you use Illustrator now, and now we're using Fresco. So it's really cool to see how, these different platforms can kind of entwine. So I'm
Yeah.
excited to see your Fresco techniques. It's going to be great.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, let me get my Apple Pencil ready here.
Love that. And again, those questions, I mean, keep them coming in. It's been a great session so far, and it's, by any means, any questions you have related to Whitney and her branding design work, how she works with clients, or even her process, get those questions in there, and I'm sure Whitney will be happy to answer them.
So this is Adobe Fresco. I'm absolutely obsessed with. They have so many cool brushes. I mean, they range from like pixel brushes, like you have like live brushes, which I don't really use the live brushes too much. And then they have like the vector brushes, which is really cool, especially if you want to draw like cute little marks within like your logos, because you can like, draw it, you can draw it in here, and then like you can like, send it to Illustrator. So that way you can finish out the logo in Illustrator. So which is really, really cool. But yeah, it's just, I love it.
Have you got like a favorite brush?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I was about to say, like, I have like so many, but.
What's your go-to brush?
I don't know, because I love
we got Voodoo's already excited about this.
I know, like I think for this purpose, I think we're just going to use like the canvas brush flat, which I love. Like, as you can see, it's just like,
nice.
It's just like the fluidity. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
It's
just like the flow of it is so nice. It just looks like you're drawing on a canvas, which I love.
It's that free flow, isn't it? It's even nice when you got the tablet and you can just, I'm a sucker for the tablet too. Right.
Yeah, I love it. But yeah, so let's see, we can draw some patterns here. So with Remi and Gold's like patterns, we really, really wanted to go we want it to be like a reflection of like a golden magical perspective of their brand personality. So like a few ideas of how like we could accomplish this is like with like abstract washes and like compositions to, give off like a whimsical and romantic feeling, or like half circles and shapes to bring in like the sun and moon elements. But in like a unique way, that way it's not like cookie cutter. Yeah.
Not that name, yeah.
Yeah, so I believe bringing in those patterns that have like that abstract wash feel, to give off that whimsical point of view, to tie in like the floral and like beauty art perspective. I think that would do an excellent job incorporating both like the magical and like the floral, elevated parts of, their brand personality. Yeah, so I think what we're gonna do is we're just gonna go for it here.
Nice. And I can see we got some new people sort of dropping in the chat. So a massive welcome if you just joined. I can see Sarah's just joined as well. And again, we're sort of half an hour into it. So just to give a recap. So today we've got the lovely brand designer, Whitney Kerney, and she's designing a refresh brand identity for Remi Gold, a floral studio. So a massive welcome if you just joined. And definitely if you're on, YouTube, hop into Behance and we can get those lovely comments directly to Whitney while she's designing in Fresco. So welcome.
Yeah, I think this color will look nice. Let's see. Yeah, I'm kind of feeling that one. Let's see here.
Got that's a lovely comment from Anne. So I remember Anne from yesterday actually. So welcome again, buddy.
Hey.
So they said, in case anyone is on the go, I've just learned that I can watch and chat from Behance app. So there you definitely can. So Debbie's actually watching from the chiropractor. So it's definitely an ongoing.
Could be watching this right now while he's at work, but he just refuses. But okay.
No excuses. They can definitely be watching. They can even watch the reruns as well. So we've got you guys.
He's gonna be watching this. He's like, you're calling me out, Whit.
Hi, Whitney's dad. That's a lovely color. I can see the lovely color palette you've got already. Yeah.
And you see, good. I just love this brush in particular because it gives a nice, it just feels like you're drawing on a canvas, which I love. And I love that texture.
It's like grainy feel, isn't it?
Yeah. It gives it a very rich feeling. It's like very expensive, I guess.
It's really lovely.
Yeah. I think we're gonna do nice.
Whilst you're doing that, actually, we've got a lovely question from Carol, and she said, "Do you have any business goals for this year?"
Oh gosh, yes, I have. Yes, I do. am looking to hire. I'm actually hoping to bring on some new team members this year, mainly probably to help with like social, just doing a lot of outsourcing, just so that way I can focus on like what I'm passionate about. So that's like one of a big goal of mine. And then obviously I'm in the process of like rebranding. So I'm hoping that I can get my new website launched by spring. I'm working with a copywriter right now. So I'm just really excited just to kind of elevate like and refine like my style a little bit more. You know, since being in business for like 2 years now, like I feel like I finally really found my voice in it, and found my style. So I can't wait for my website to be reflective of that.
Nice. Well, you can do a little call out for anyone.
Show, so outsourcing and hiring is one of like my big goals this year.
There we go. So if you're looking to join Whitney's team, definitely reach out on the chat. I'm sure she'd love to hear. And actually, in the comments, so I do apologize because I know yesterday you were on here, and I remember you are a girl, so I do apologize if I said male instead of female. So yes, and a massive welcome back again. So it's good to see you.
Yeah, actually, I think I'm going to, let's see here. I think I'm gonna redo that circle.
What I love as well about like brushes, just it's not too perfect. It's that kind of, it's okay to be a bit wobbly and
yeah,
it's just
that's
part of
what
design.
I love. Yeah, that's what and it's hard because I am a perfectionist. So I have been trying to not be as like crazy perfect with it, but like I love how like the imperfect look looks like, you know, like I like it.
Do you like, just curious, do you like screen printing at all? Do you do a bit of screen printing or?
I don't, but my boyfriend does. He is very, very good at screen printing. He has like a little clothing brand. So he you know, he does a lot of screen printing and a lot of vinyl work. But right now he's doing mainly like screen printing, which is like super cool. Like I love that style.
That is pretty cool. And again, it's the whole sort of hands-on. It's almost like, the reason why I say screen print, because it's okay to be a bit rough around the edges and it's not too perfect. It's all part of the process, right? Which is great.
So I love this one because I love this pattern because it kind of gives off like that setting sun, kind of like that sun and magical perspective. But then it also kind of brings in like an Austin, because, you know, Austin has its own little brand, you know, like Austin has its own little brand personality. So I kind of like love how like this kind of brings in like that bohemian feel that Austin has as like a community. I
mean, I don't know what's Austin like. I mean, I'm a little London boy here. So like, tell us what if you could sum Austin one word design wise, what would it be?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I would think very like bohemian, but in like a very eclectic way.
You sold it to me.
Yeah. Like, I feel like I'm not doing it any justice. Like Austin is such an eclectic, like city. So I feel like kind of bringing in like that bohemian feel to it was kind of important with Remi Gold. Even although they have like, obviously they're a floral design studio based in Austin, but they travel to all different places, like even overseas. I know they were in Paris last year for a wedding.
Nice.
Yeah, but I just kind of wanted to kind of bring in like that Austin feel to their patterns as well too.
You're flying a flag, lovely for the Austin.
Yeah.
For any Austin people in the audience today. Lovely. I can see as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I just view Austin as very bohemian, but in like but not in like a bohemian, like I can't really describe it. But yeah, so just kind of bringing in that more like eclectic than anything.
Yeah, you got to feel it. Like it sounds like a vibe in itself, right? You got to be there to experience it.
Yeah,
I can dig it. I can dig it. We've got we've got Simon who said this is awesome. So again, you're getting good positive vibes from everyone in the chat. And we've got Voodoo Val who's definitely rumbled me. She said that you got to that point in the chat where Kieran's stream likes to talk about screen printing. I do kind of mention that in the streams a lot. I do love screen printing.
Cool. Yeah, I know my boyfriend. He builds his own screens. It's like so cool to me. Like, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. That's one of my boyfriend's goals this year too, is to kind of like, you know, get his clothing brand back up and running again. But
you could do like a collaboration, right?
I know.
with your color palettes. That'd be a nice, strong collaboration.
Yeah. But yeah, so let's do another pattern here. Let's see.
You can see Richard's just joined the chat as well. So he said, hi, Richard. Hi, Kieran and Whitney. So hi, Richard. Thanks for joining us.
I I think I was talking to Richard on social. He's so nice.
Nice. Yeah, I can see a lot of people from yesterday's chat. So again, awesome. Thank you so much for joining again. And again, massive welcome to those who are just brand new today. So welcome.
So again, with Remi Gold's patterns, we kind of wanted it to kind of bring in those like half circles, like arches, just to kind of give off like that sun and that magical perspective, but also kind of bringing in like a nice like eclectic artisan feel too. Like we want it to feel authentic, you know, because it's like, you know, Remi Gold is like, you know, they're designing florals, so we want it to feel like authentic, you know, if that makes sense.
Giving justice basically to like the design and the essence of
like using your hands, you know. Let's see. Yeah, so I just love like the flow of this brush because it's just so nice.
It's one of those ones you could just experiment all day, right? Just playing around and trying to get a different contrast. It's great. I mean, you're in a good place. We're in Adobe Live, so you're in a good place to have fun and experiment with the different brushes and colors. So yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, it's really, really nice. Just kind of has like that nice little, you know, like half circles, just to kind of give some little grit to it a little.
Little bite to it, nice.
Yeah. Let's see. So yeah, we love like the half moon, like the, you know, like the little half circles, like the little half moon kind of feel. So let's see.
So Richard has asked, I'll let you answer this. So Richard asked, what app are you using, Whitney? I mean, he missed the last part.
Oh no, Adobe Fresco.
Nice. So welcome.
And we are
via the
using,
iPad.
Yeah, we're using the canvas brush flat and the pixel brushes.
So welcome.
I think that one's a little dark.
We've got a comment from, I think when we were going back to the idea of what Austin's like sort of summed up, we've got Reverb who to keep Austin weird. I don't know if from Austin.
It's like a very weird, it's very eclectic.
There we go. We've got the Austin posse in the in the house. So well, everyone's welcome. So it's all good. All love.
Yeah. So kind of have like an abstract point of view of like a, you know, a setting sun and a rising sun.
Going back as well. So I remember when we had mood boards, we had like different shapes and the sort of half semicircle. It's quite nice. You can brought that in here now. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, just kind of play around with it and.
Oh, you've got a lovely comment here, Whitney, whilst you're doing that. Give you a bit of a spare moment thing. So Zainab said you are amazing. So there we go.
Oh, yay. Thank you.
you've got love in the chat. It's all good. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, patterns are probably one of my favorite part of a branding, the branding process, because it's just like, it's so therapeutic. You know, it's like, it just brings me back to like when we were in grade school and we're just doodling.
Yes.
I think we had like that conversation yesterday.
Definitely. Love a good doodle.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it.
And just as well to mention as well, for anyone, again, if Fresco is quite a new app for you guys to, you know, heard it before or even, you know, designed in it, definitely check out, you know, some other streams where they've used Fresco as well, and you can get an idea of the process just like you're watching today. And again, new year, so fresh start. Why not have a go? You know, explore, make it this sort of, you know, nice little challenge to yourself to get exploring of Adobe products. So yeah, have fun with it.
Yeah. So these are some of the patterns. We definitely wanted to, you know, showcase Remi Gold's fun personality through these and kind of give off like that eclectic, fun, creative side. because it's like her, you know, their branding is very like very chic and elevated, but with her patterns, we wanted to bring in their like fun and creative side. So I that's what I love about, like, you know, just like these like half moons, like half circles, like these little hills. Like it's just so fun. It just brings in like that Austin weirdness.
That's the word of the day, isn't it now?
Yeah.
Weird but wonderful.
Yeah.
I love that.
I cannot wait to explore Austin. I haven't been, but it's been a goal of mine to make it to Austin. And I heard their food community is like insane. Like I really want to go to one of their food truck rallies.
I love that. That sounds amazing.
Like I just want to go there just strictly for the food.
Just for the food.
Like the Tex-Mex, I'm like, I'm all for, yeah.
Like I can dig it.
So I would love to, let's see like how this branding, these patterns, like let's see how all of this is like coming in, you know, coming into like in full swing. Like I would love to like design maybe a few pages to kind of visualize how their branding will look, you know, in IRL. So yeah, let's go ahead and shift gears back to Adobe Illustrator.
Nice.
And see if we can stylize maybe a couple pages.
Definitely. I mean, it's exciting. It's quite nice as well. We're kind of going in between the different programs, so everyone's kind of getting a chance to see in the audience straight away firsthand how you use, you know, both Fresco and Illustrator. So share away and experiment. We look forward to seeing it.
All right. Alrighty, so let me move my iPad to the side here. I just got like the new iPad, the iPad Pro, and it's massive. Is
that like a Christmas gift?
No, I actually just got I invested in whole new equipment like early last year, because like all of mine were on the fritz. So I had to get like a new MacBook, a new iMac. I was like, let me just take the plunge, and luckily like the new iPad came out and like the new iMac came out. So it kind of worked out in my favor. So I was able to get like brand new products. Nice. But yeah, but it's huge. It's like the iPad is huge and it's so heavy.
Like I feel like I'm like lugging it around.
But yeah, so like in addition to showing like my client like all of like the branding elements and how to use them, etc., like in the branding presentation, I always like to style like a couple pages, like a few pages for a client to visualize like how their branding will look in real life. So yeah, let's go ahead and maybe style a few pages. So
nice.
So these are like some that are already like pre-designed, but I'm gonna style some for you. Yeah.
Can you zoom in a little bit, because they're so beautiful? Yeah. That way we can all see in its entirety the different versions, because they're really, really nice.
Yeah. So you can really see like the branding come to life, like the fonts, the colors, the logos, even just like other like logo marks that we designed, their little marks. You can really see like their branding come to life, like the little accent font. Yeah.
I like the use of shapes as well, sort of, you know.
Yeah.
Quarter semicircle. Yeah, really cool.
Yeah. And nice. I love like, see like the abstract wash, it kind of gives off like a galaxy kind of feel, you know, like to bring in like that magical perspective too, but also very beauty related as well.
Definitely.
Yeah. So this is just some.
Is that one of the people from Remi Gold? There we go. Nice.
One of the patterns that we just designed.
There we go.
Yeah. And it's also like, I do want to make note that like when your client has brand photos that are like perfect, it makes your branding process so much easier, and it makes you so much more inspired to create because like their photos are on point. It just makes the branding presentation look.
I feel like every designer they can all relate to that, especially myself. Like it's when a high res comes in, you're like, thank you for making our lives a little bit easier.
Yeah.
and if it's not high res, I mean, we can work with that, right? We can shape up on Photoshop and we can do magic.
We can do a little some tweaking.
But it still helps to have high res.
I know usually sometimes I'm like struggling. I'm like screenshotting some pictures or something, and it just ends up looking like wonky. So yeah, so see, this is one of the patterns that we designed here.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So a good combination of bringing in that fun creative side, but then also bringing in that whimsical side as well too. Like I love like this wash kind of feel composition. to kind of give off, I know when Twyla, when she was viewing the presentation, she was like, I'm obsessed with this. This looks like a galaxy. I'm here for it. I was like, you know what? That's not what I was thinking. But now that you mention it, like, it's perfect. It definitely reminds me of like a galaxy.
I love that. It's and to be fair, even the photo shoot, you can tell like there's a distinctive style of the photo shoot they've got and the lighting and
and see like what they're wearing is even within their brand colors. It's like perfect collaboration. Yeah, and then these are just some that some little a mock feed that I put together. Where's my thing at? Oh, there it is. A little mock feed I put together so they can kind of see how they can use their branding on social media. And
That's a lovely collection. Really nice collection.
All right, so let's see. Let's try to design maybe a few pages. So
on that topic of we've got Christoph who said a bit like when we mentioned about the new year, new fresh looking design. So she mentioned so they mentioned, sorry, I say I should use more Adobe apps. All I use is Photoshop, Illustrator, and Acrobat. It's all good. It's all good. I mean, some of us have our favorites. So
I feel like you're speaking to me too. I feel like I need to do the same. And they're just they're just Adobe has so many great programs out there, and it's like I literally want to learn all of them just because like it's just all of them are so amazing.
And the beauty as well is even knowing which program can integrate with one another and how you can, because once you have that knowledge of one and say another, you can think, okay, cool, maybe two can combine. And I mean, again, just a nice little plug here because it's perfect time for it. But definitely watch more Adobe Lives, and you can sort of see how other creatives use different programs and how it works. So Christoph's put down 2022 New Year's resolution. So hopefully that can be all our resolutions to get more Adobe software savvy. So all good.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I love, like, I think, I retract my statement. Patterns are definitely my favorite part, but I think like the branding presentation part and stylizing like just a couple of pages just to add into the presentation has to be by far my favorite. Cause it's just like, you're like, wow, you designed this, Whitney, you put this together, like, and you're seeing it come to life. It's just such a rewarding and humbling feeling as a designer, like seeing everything stylized like perfectly.
Do you feel like when you're designing, because it's almost with my own line of work as well, it's so easy to almost design so much but not put a limit on it of how much is too much, if you know what I mean?
Oh my gosh, no, I can go on and on.
Yeah,
I know, like I can like literally probably like design these pages for like days because it's just so fun. And that's what that fun thing about branding too is like you can use, and the fun thing about different like having, because you can like break up like that color palette that we created, like you could break it up into like a primary and a secondary. And like you can like the primary could be like one mood and like the secondary could be another mood. So it's like you can literally like the options are endless when it comes to like stylizing branding, because it's like you can have so many different moods within, your branding.
You're dropping some good gems today for our audience, Whitney. I love that. It's great. We've got Christoph who said, interesting. So I get anxious when I open Premiere, but it is intuitive. But I also try to stick at my niche. So again, it's trying to understand the different programs. And do you ever use Premiere yourself, Whitney?
No, I don't even think I've ever opened it. It's very intimidating. I remember I was learning Adobe animation in school, and I was like mortified. Like I was scared. Like I was like, this thing is so intense. Like I literally, like I was having an anxiety attack. I was so like intimidated by it. Once you get the hang of it, it's good. Like I got the hang of it. But like I remember when I first opened it up, I was like, I'm confused. Like I don't
There's
know.
a lot to
like, I don't know.
I feel like I can compare it to almost like driving a car. Like it feels like the most scariest, daunting thing in the world when you're behind, learning to drive. And then eventually it's like, second nature, right? It's just kind of training your brain into sort of understanding the different parts, components. But yeah, it's definitely a nerve-wracking. I mean, we all go for that nerve-wracking experience. So it's all natural.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah. So we're just, creating some, little stylized pages to present to the client. Yeah.
We've got that's an interesting one. So Richard said, so yeah, me too, especially when I'm processing a video on Premiere, my laptop fan starts to make loud noises. It's quite funny because like, there's a lot of like GIFs and memes of like, you're trying to render and your computer's almost going to like explode with the noise it makes. And then, we've got Voodoo Val who said, I use Premiere sometimes, but mostly Rush for video editing. It has everything I need and not a fancy video editor. So again, there's so many different types of platforms or software, I should say, to use. So definitely get exploring and, you know, find out what one works best for you.
Yeah, no, I love like the designing the pages, because it's just so fun. You see everything come to life. Like, it's just so nice.
It's nice as well, like the different like orientations you can do and the different, you know, overlaps as well. There's like possibilities are endless, right?
Yeah, you're not limited. Like, that's what I love about it.
And again, when you do, I think we touched on it yesterday, but when you do like your presentation document, I should say, for the client, again, so you kind of filter down, do you feel like in your best options, or do you kind of put them all in there? What's your process with presenting the client?
I definitely do a one concept approach. The logos, I do present a few variations for them to choose from, but they're not like, but it's a suite, you know, it's called a suite for a reason. So it's like, if they do end up loving all of the variations, then they can use those as like alternatives for something or like an element. So it's like, they're not pressured to like choose, but like they have a few options. So if they're like, oh, I don't like that one variation, they can scratch it. At least they have other options, you know, that they'd be like, okay, no, this is really good. But then most of the time they end up loving like the brand marks, for example. Like, I show them like a whole group of brand marks just as like a collective, and they usually end up loving all of them. And then it's cool because like you can use those marks for like elements on the website, or you know, using it on packaging and stuff like that. So they're not like limited to like, they're not like pressured to choose, but like if they don't like one in particular, like they don't have to use it.
Yeah, I think that's the dream as well. When you design, I mean, it's subjective, right? But when you design that brand where, you know, parts of it can still filter into different, you know, mediums, whether it's social media or print, and it's almost like you've got that foundation set with the overarching brand, and then, you know, bit by bit you use elements of it for other purposes. So yeah, that's really nice.
Yeah, so
I can't believe it's already like an hour into our stream, so I can see. But we're about half an hour into our artist spotlight, which is exciting. But just to mention, for anyone who's like new and just kind of joined in, massive welcome. So we're in the real flow of the design today with Whitney Kerney, brand designer, who's currently in a refresh brand, I should say, for Remi Gold. So welcome if you just tuned in, and then you're seeing Whitney, as she goes through Fresco and Illustrator. So welcome. I haven't got many Whitney friends. I think that's why I said I've got Brittany friends, but not Whitney. So I apologize.
Oh no, it's okay. I know. I love my name. Like, I love like
it's a strong name.
Like, it's very unique, you know. I was named
after
Whitney
know
Houston,
one Whitney.
True story.
I was gonna say, like, I only really know one Whitney celebrity-wise, and I think we all know that one Whitney as well.
Yeah. So. But yeah, I was named after Whitney Houston. I was born in 1990, so of course that's like her prime. So
nice.
I'm not my grandma. My mom, she was definitely a Whitney fanatic. And when she passed away, it was like not okay. Like, it was not okay. I was in Puerto Rico when Whitney Houston passed away, and my mom was like sending me lyrics. Like, she was not okay. Like, I was like, Mom, do I need to fly home? Like, she was so sad.
Are you like listening to Whitney Houston when you're designing? Is that in your archive?
Sometimes I do, because like her upbeat music, like I Want to Dance with Somebody or How Will I Know, like those songs that are a little bit more upbeat.
Uplifting.
Yeah. Not the ballads, because I'll
not the breakup songs.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
We got a lovely comment from Neri. He said, I'm starting my own creative studio this year. I started watching this live on YouTube. I just saw your work on your website, and it's very inspirational for me. Greetings from Mexico.
Oh my gosh.
There we go. Yay. Lovely comment. And welcome.
That's so exciting. I'm like, I love the growth already for 2022.
It's positive energy. I mean, we were like a week into it, but it's
I know, I love it.
And it's great to see as well the location. So we've got Mexico in there, which is good. So
yeah, welcome. Mexico is definitely on my bucket list too.
Ditto.
And I'm definitely enjoying, like, you know, exploring the really cool spaces here in America as well.
We've said so really Val's just mentioned as well, so definitely just to repeat, so for artist spotlight, which will be in about half an hour or so's time, so to nominate yourself or another artist for our future spotlights, check out the tab above the chat, put it in there, and then hopefully you could be up next. So yeah, it's a good one in half hour, so you don't want to miss it, so definitely stay tuned.
You don't want to miss it.
It's good, it is good, I'm not just saying that. It is a good one. I love the different options there. So it's really nice, Whitney. Like really nice collection.
So now you can like really see, like the branding come to life, which is like it's just, I love it. It's just like such a rewarding feeling, like having those like moments like where you're like after like a long 4 or 5 however long weeks that you have when you brand, like seeing it all come together, you're like, was all worth it. Like it was all worth it.
It's the best feeling.
Yeah.
Do you ever find as well? Oh, sorry, no, go for it.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, it's like you just give yourself a pat on the back. You're like, yeah, Whitney, you did that. Like you did that. Like see it all like come to life. Win. Yeah. Like the beauty of it is just, I love it.
Do you ever find like with projects, because it's always tricky when it depends if you've got, the luxury of time, but when you work on a project, is it sometimes you find yourself, you get to that deliverable, it's great, but sometimes the process, just getting there it's almost the fun part. And it's that journey of getting in the different experiments or mediums or even software that you use.
I actually get really excited like after like pretty much like all the elements are done and I'm like, okay, now I got to put it in a presentation. I get super excited. I'm just like, I just want it to be done already. Like I just want to see it like in real life. Like this is so freaking cool. Like I just get so, it's just, I love it. Like I just love it. It just, I love like, sitting down at my desk and like being like, all right, well, let's see this come to life. Like it's really cool to see. And it's really cool, like from like a client perspective too, like see your baby come to life, like see your dreams become a reality through branding.
It is a nice moment, especially when, I think we touched on it yesterday, but when it's say of a client and it's a brand that's personal to that individual, like a family brand or a personal brand, there's almost that element when you've helped them to create something impactful, there's almost like a sense of just love and gratitude, right? So it's a really nice feeling. And design is a beautiful thing, so it's all good.
I love I love it. And even though like Remi and Gold, like they have been established since 2015, like they're finally like getting to that point where they're like, okay, we know our style, it's time to rebrand, so it's like you could even be like an established business and then like you just know that it's you've been in business for a little while and you're like, okay, now I know where I want to take my business now. Like I know now like what my long-term goals are. Like sometimes it takes you a little while. So sometimes like that rebrand is necessary.
It takes a lot of confidence, I think, as well, because sometimes you may find, this is totally subjective, but with, whether you decide to make that choice of rebranding, say 2 years or even 20 years, depending on how your business is actually taking that different route, and it could work or it could not, but it's still making that initial effort, right? Of actually thinking, I want to make a decision. So I always think that's pretty cool when you can make that choice of a rebrand.
Yeah, I know I'm excited about my rebrand. I'm just ready to have it be more reflective, like of my personality, like my voice, like, where I want to take my business in like the future.
But you've definitely given our audience like a nice like feel of who you are. So I feel like we've over the past day and a half, we've definitely got a good vibe from that.
Good. And I like to think that like, like my style just comes through like my design. Like I like to think that my personality comes through like the designs that I, have the opportunity to design. Like I think that it comes through like my passion for it. I'm definitely a storyteller. So like, I like to think that like, when I do get to this point where I'm like showcasing like, like their branding, like I feel like it, like we're telling a story.
No, definitely. Storytelling and branding, it's something that's definitely in tune with one another. And even like the ethos behind what you kind of want to achieve, I think that these are elements that it's not just the design, it's the backstory behind it and the real fundamentals that what make the brand. So it's all part of the ingredients of a good brand. I'd say.
Like it has to like, it's just like, I know like when I'm like designing it, like it has to make sense. Like it has to make sense. It has to feel good. Like it just has to make sense with like, you know, the client's goals.
I almost miss university for that, because I think uni it's a good experience to learn more, but you experiment a lot more as well. I don't know if you find it for freelancing, because I think I'm a year into it, you're 2 years into it, but obviously when you're freelancing for clients, it's a bit more structured. But when you're at uni, you can experiment, right? Or not even at uni, just in general, but you have the opportunity to just have fun and say do things on the back of it or collaborate, which is cool.
Yeah, and I love these like. Little side note, I love these like little elements that we created for Remi Gold, kind of embody like a little star.
Can you zoom in a bit more? And that's really nice.
Yeah, so when I was like making these, I was like thinking that these would be really cute in like the corners of like social media graphics.
Yeah,
and then like you're essentially like branding, as you're like branding like, you know, your name, but like you're bringing in like a little star element. It's just a really cute way to.
It's like subtle, isn't it? Really subtle, but
and then like gold. It's just real cute. It just reminds me of like a little star, like a little twinkle, but then with their name. Yeah, and I love this mission statement for Remi Gold. So it's like central to mission of Remi Gold is the belief that if we focus on our team wellness, all else will follow. We believe that it's best to do one thing really, really well, which is why we stick to flowers. We believe in fighting for space in which everyone is welcome. We believe all these things must thrive equally in a manner that commands deep respect for individuals and outside of Remi Gold. So that was definitely really, really important when we were branding Remi Gold, is to have their brand identity be reflective of that. And I feel like we did an excellent job of executing that. Has like a very inviting, welcoming, persona.
No, it's beautiful. I mean, everything from top to bottom is beautiful.
You know, very warm and inviting.
Positive vibes. I'm getting fully on this project. It's a lovely thing. And that statement you just read is really lovely as well, actually. There's a lot of lovely nuggets in there.
Yeah. So just a kind of little recap of some of the pages that we designed here. I'm just like in awe of this photography.
It's beautiful. We can even maybe do like a little poll as well, actually, to see which styles people are liking, actually, depending on.
Yeah, we actually ended up actually scratching this little flower motif here. But I just kind of wanted to still kind of include it in the presentation, just for like the stream. But we ended up actually scratching this little motif here in the brand identity, and just kind of keeping like the little dry floral.
I like it.
Yeah, and just kind of focusing more on like the sun elements than the flower elements.
I like as well like this stuff, because again, it wouldn't make sense to say use an image of a flower, or an illustration that's too refined. It's almost got that hand drawn, very earthly feel to it. So it's all in sync with one another.
Kind of bringing Austin vibes, little
Austin vibes,
eclectics, a little eclectic. There we go. Yeah,
weird and wonderful.
Yeah, we didn't want like Remi Gold to just be defined with their with like a floral element. So we kind of focused more on like the sun elements, but I kept it in the stream because I just thought it was cute. But we did scratch it though, for the brand identity though. So pretty much we just like replaced it with like the sun elements. As you can see. Yeah, and this is the owner, Twyla. She's literally such a boss babe. She has this pink hat, like super random, but she has this pink hat that I'm like absolutely obsessed with. Like I can't remember where she says she got it, but like I'm on the hunt for a pink hat. It looks just like this, but it's pink.
If anyone in the chat has any pink hat recommendation, throw them for Whitney in the chat. She would love to hear it. I love that. We've got an interesting comment. It's going back to when we spoke about the brand and the story, which is quite a nice one. So Richard said, branding and storytelling work hand in hand. Speaking of stories, what's your favorite genre of storytelling, Whitney? Whether it's fiction, non-fiction, fantasy, mystery, or comedy?
Dang. Okay, okay. I guess for watching stories like on TV, like I will say I'm more of like a documentary nonfiction kind of gal. But like reading, like I love like self-help, but I also love fiction. Like I love like I guess love would be kind of fantasy a little. Like I love like the romance novels and not the dirty ones, but
no, I mean
not the one with Fabio on the cover, but
disclaimer.
But just like the fiction ones with like it has like a nice love story, like I do love those.
Keeping it PG.
Yeah.
I'm into like sci-fi. I do like my sci-fi, and I mean, I'm resisting the temptation to go into the Marvel realm here because I know
Oh my gosh,
as
yes.
well. So for Voodoo as well, if you don't, which
I
you
guess
know
that
from
would fall
yesterday,
under fantasy a little bit.
it
Like
would
superheroes,
do.
yeah.
I know you like your superhero stuff, Whitney, which is
I
we both do
do,
actually,
I do.
which is
I feel like
good.
such a
So,
nerd on that. Like, I'm like, I
I
love
know.
it. Yeah,
It's
I
all
just
good.
love, I just love anything like superhero, even like, our real life superheroes, like firefighters and things. Like, I love like those kind of shows, like Chicago Fire and like Chicago Med. I'm like obsessed with. Like, I just love like, like the superheroes in like our everyday life,
Supernatural. I love that. Yeah. I mean, I'm into like, I guess sort of documentaries as well. But I guess during like, lockdown period, it's one of those ones where a lot of people have had time, even lockdown, just Christmas, you're at home, you're keeping warm, you're probably watching a lot more things. And there's a lot of different shows out there to watch, including Adobe Live, of course. But
Yes.
everything else, if you want to mix it up, it's
a lot of competition out there.
There is. Richard agrees with you as well, Whitney. He said that he likes romance ones, disclaimer, not the naughty ones, but
yeah, not definitely, the naughty ones.
Definitely non-fiction and sci-fi too.
My grandma used to love the naughty ones. The one with Fabio on the cover. I wonder if anyone in the chat knows what I'm talking about.
Please mention it if you do, because I'm not too sure. Yeah, really Val does.
I might be showing my age.
That's hilarious. But
I mean,
that's a good question,
like
Richard.
Fabio was in the 80s though. Like, I wasn't born in the 80s. I was born in 1990, but like I remember Fabio was definitely still a thing in the 90s, like Fabio romance novels.
There we go. So I mean, yeah, that was a good question by Rich. Just like any questions again, like those questions are really nice. I always find because it's design related, but it's getting about you as an individual as well. So anything you guys might have in a question, whether it's design related or just about who Whitney is as an individual, definitely get them in here and we can share them.
Remember when I was talking to you yesterday about pop-ins when we were developing out the font suite, and I told you that I love that and sign of pop-ins.
Yes.
So I incorporated it in like one of their marks, and this is like the little and sign. Isn't it so cute? Like
nice.
It's just like
can
I
you
love
zoom
like
in a little bit?
Yeah, let me
yeah, we can appreciate it.
I just love it. It's just so cute.
That looks really well.
Yeah, I like just incorporated it in like a submark because I was just like I really want to incorporate this, and it's just real fun. It just kind of brings in like that fun eclectic side. I'm
a big fan as well when you split the year as well, like 2015.
Oh my god,
like,
yeah,
I love when brands do that. That's
it's like my favorite thing to do. I'm always splitting something. Like this, I was very, very inspired by like splitting like sentences, like Designed with Love by the Remi Gals. Like, yeah.
Nice, lovely. It's nice.
Yeah. And then you can kind of see like that accent font here, like nice little placing emphasis on like, what they specialize in. High-end artistic fun floral design experience. Yeah.
And you've got the balance as well, really nice with the different, sort of font styles as well, like italicized or regular and bold. It's a good combination for sure.
Yeah. I think the Canella does wonders for the brand identity. Because it's like chic, but still very eclectic too.
I mean, a name like Canella as well. That is a pretty cool name. I do love that name as a brand. So I would say about sort of 15 minutes or so until we go into our artist spotlight. So I mean, time is definitely going quick, but it's all
any
good.
Questions? Questions have been good today too. They've
been strong. It's been yesterday and today it's been a good lineup of questions. So keep them coming, and I will keep them flowing over to Whitney, and then we'll go into our artist spotlight in about 15 minutes or so, and it's a good one, so definitely stay tuned.
It definitely is a good one. You don't want to miss it, so keep.
Don't want to miss it. It's a good one.
Stay tuned.
We've got a reverb joke here. I mean, I was waiting for this one to come up. So on the topic of Poppins and font, Mary Poppins. I mean, there we go. It'll be wrong not to to put that in there, but I love the Poppins joke. There we go.
Yeah.
We've got a lovely comment from Am from yesterday and today as well, who said, Whitney, your picture used for the live is so playful and fun. I love the bang and pattern outfit.
Oh, thank you. Those are my headshots from, oh my gosh, I want to say 2019. I just got new headshots done, but of course they weren't, I didn't have them in time for the Adobe stream. But yeah, I thought that when I was finding or shopping around for like an outfit, I was like, okay, this is so on brand. Like these looks like the patterns that I like, I doodle, these looks like the elements that I draw. So I thought it was on brand. My hair was so long there. And I actually have like some blonde in my hair now. Like my hair was all natural there.
I feel that's amazing because it's funny because like even yourself is like you are the brand as well. So it's like branding
Yeah.
yourself or like making sure that you have, you know, same clothing and
Yeah,
and
it's
whatnot.
so hard. Branding yourself is so hard.
Branding yourself. It is a thing. It is difficult. It's
So this is another little brand mark that we created, and I'm like absolutely obsessed with. It'll be fun.
Image.
Like these, that's what I love about brand marks is like you can incorporate them in like so many different like mediums. Like you can like, we were thinking about incorporating this into like a patch or, you know, or like a sticker or, you know, like a tag or something, you know, like to put on like when they sell like dried floral arrangements, like it could be like a cute little tag that hangs off or something, you know, like it's just so fun. Brand marks are so fun. Like brand marks are probably definitely one of my favorites too of a brand identity.
You can almost imagine like even like a gift wrap in like a box or something like that, you know, whether the packaging it's in, it's definitely got that sort of style where it needs to be on some sort of packaging or, you know, it's too good to have it on the screen, right? You got to have it other places. It's a lovely image.
Yeah, no, I'm obsessed with brand marks. Like I create so many of them and I'm like, okay, well, pick your favorite. No, I'm just kidding. But no, I like do like, I'm like, okay, well, if you do like all of them, we can always use them as like an alternative. And like, and I always joke, I'm like, it's called a font or it's called a logo suite for a reason.
And do you feel like, I mean, even your process of, you know, starting out as a designer, have you always kind of been intrigued into this kind of style of design or has it kind of shifted over the years?
I have. I think it's because I'm just really attracted to like, just like that, the texture, like I'm really, really inspired by texture. And I think like having like that, like me being inspired by interior design, like I feel like that's very reflective in my work too. Cause like this could definitely be like a rug or like this could definitely be a rug for sure. Like I would
buy that rug.
yeah. So I feel like, I've always been attracted to like design that has like that texture and like really fun patterns and design elements. It's just like something that I've always been attracted to. And I just been kind of refining it, like, you know, to be a little bit more on like the like feminine chic side versus a little bit. I don't want it to go into too bohemian. So, cause like, I feel like I'm more of like feminine chic than bohemian.
What, melancholy? Can I say melancholy? Is it that kind of a little bit like melancholy vibe or not so much?
I don't know. Cause what melancholy is like, what, sad? Is that like,
is that so? Do you know what I'm thinking? Is only because of the Gorillaz song Melancholy.
Oh yeah, I love Gorillaz.
Which is my favorite. Yeah. And I think of just like chilled and vibe. And perhaps you're right. Maybe I'm using the wrong word in the wrong term.
Is that sad? I feel like I've used that word and I like didn't know what it really meant.
I think I just
like I feel like I do that a lot. Like I use words and I'm like, and I like think back and I'm like, wait, I don't know if I even knew what that even means.
It's got melon.
I always like to think too, my style is very romantic too. Has like a very romantic feel. But if you think about it, branding is a very romantic, you know, it's a very romantic experience. Like, you know, like you're branding a business, you know, it's a very romantic, heartfelt process.
I love how you brought that in really nicely there. That was strong. Yeah, no, I know what you mean. It's just it's that connection that you have, right? It feels like an emotive vibe to it, or you have a sense of wanting to belong.
I guess I would call it very bohemian chic because it's not like too bohemian or like boho. I guess I feel like it's very feminine, romantic, you know.
Love it. And as well, like I think it's nice that you kind of like play the different textures as well. I mean, that's quite important of design, right? When you add that sort of textured layer on top, it can make all the difference in the world when it comes to design.
I feel like it kind of gives it depth like to like the brand identity. Like it just doesn't look like it you know, it doesn't look too minimal or it doesn't look too bland, you know. It kind of gives it that little extra something when you add in like some patterns. Yeah definitely. I love it. I'm happy.
It's looking good. So Rudy's mentioned in the chat as well, so we're literally about 7 minutes or so we're very, very close to Artist Spotlight. So again, if you have anyone that you'd like to feature or even yourself, you know, definitely get that in the chat above the tab. You can find more information, so get it in there and we would love to see your suggestions. And like we said before, we've got a really good one coming up in the next sort of say 7 minutes or so whilst Whitney keep designing, get those questions in.
Let's see if I can finish this last one.
Feel good.
So this like would be super fun to like incorporate in like a social media graphic as like a template. You know, like they could be like introducing like a new launch of product or something. You know, it'd be fun to like incorporate that in like a social media graphic.
Definitely, you can see how it could work. Even like a cover banner as well, like whether it's to Twitter or Facebook. You can see how that could work quite well. So Christoph said, it's quite a funny one actually. So my portfolio is on fleek to share, and in brackets, if we were in 2018. So,
I need to update my portfolio. It was so bad. Like, it's a goal of mine. That's another, it'll be updated when I get my new website. That's why I haven't really updated it yet, because it's like, I know that I'll be updating my website. So I feel like it'd be almost redundant. Like I'm just going to have to do it twice. So like, I'm just waiting for when my new website is complete to launch my new portfolio. Like I have like all like last year's worth of work, like is not on my portfolio. Like I am so behind. But I feel like that's very common with us designers. We just get so busy with client work, and
of course you're in a figure,
goes
right?
out the window.
I mean, this is pretty much a shameless plug, and I do apologize, but I mean, I actually did my redesign my site.
Oh yeah, it looks really good. I checked it out.
Thank you. I mean that, but to be fair, I mean I say that now. The background in terms of doing it, it took a very long time. So like it's long. Like what you said, right? It's trying to get it right, trying to select the right projects. But when you do it, it's like sense of relief, right? It's amazing.
It's always harder for us to do it, like doing something for ourselves than it is for a client. Like it always is.
Definitely.
But yeah, no, my portfolio will be completely up to date once my new website launches. I just decided I'm just going to wait until my new website launches, so that way I don't have to do it twice, because it can be very time consuming.
You put that disclaimer out there now, Whitney. So we're gonna hold you to that.
Oh my god, please hold me.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, no, everyone needs to hold me accountable, because I definitely I can be very like, I get so tired. Like you get so drained from doing client work. So it's just like, you know, like at the end of the day, like the last thing you want to do is just like work again, you know?
Right. I mean, if it looks anything like what we're seeing now, I'm sure it'd be absolutely amazing.
Yay, thank you. I'm excited.
We've got, a lovely question from Voodoo, who said, so Whitney, what has been your favorite project you've worked on recently?
I would probably say my last quarter of projects have been, honestly, all of my projects this year has been literally amazing. But like since like the last projects that I've like kind of like I'm wrapping up right now, like so there's like 3. There's like this one called Velvet, which is a tattoo studio based in Charlotte, North Carolina. Super fun. They have like, we designed like such a retro modern feel to their brand identity. Remi Gold, and then this hair company called B. So I'm super excited to, Velvet's website will be launching this month as well. And then B, we're still working on like their packaging and collateral, but then we'll be tackling their website. So I'm super excited.
That's a strong collection of like good projects that you got under the belt.
Yeah, and B actually is local here in Jacksonville, Florida, which is super cool because I don't work with many brands that are local. So that was something that was really special to me, to brand a business here that's local.
Have you found like during this period of like, I mean, even like, with, being in lockdown and where you're based as well, have you got many clients abroad, or you said you don't have many local, but do you find, has it changed? Has it shifted in terms of clients reaching out from further, or has it always kind of stayed the same?
It's pretty true. I usually hardly, like even from the very beginning when I was just doing like graphic design work, like just one-off projects, like it was hardly anything local. It was always like somewhere else, like in other states, or even like out of the country. Like I get a lot of, I help a lot of businesses in Australia a lot. Which is really cool because I resonate with their style so much. Yeah. So I'm always like super passionate when an Australian reaches out.
Yeah, if any sort of Australians in the chat, I mean, massive welcome and hello as well.
My shot.
There we go. It's funny because from my side, I mean, so I'm UK based, London based, and I've got a few clients in London, but I guess maybe doing more, with streams and lives, I've got more clients in the US, and as much as amazing, the only thing I'm still adjusting to is a time difference. So it's always like having a Zoom, like have your dinner and then you have to, get back onto Zoom again. So, but I won't deny it's been great.
Yeah, it can be a little challenging at times. Even just from like the West Coast to the East Coast, it's like there's like that 3 or 4 hour time difference. So that can be even a little bit more, because it's like, I'm kind of stopping work and they're kind of getting going,
Exactly. But It's all
But
good.
it works out. Yeah.
We've got a little comment to say, and then perhaps we can just jump into the probably artist spotlight soon. So Am said, so this is a lovely comment actually. So Whitney, I love that your personality tone is on your website. I literally said yes out loud when I read
it.
Yes. There we go. So yeah, it's great. So I mean, in terms of we're very close now to Spotlight, but I mean, are you in a good place with your visuals, or do you want to do one more?
So basically, what I would do is like I would just kind of finish up, like the presentation, and kind of just add these into the presentation. Let me see if I have like an example. Yeah, so I just kind of add it in there when I'm adding in like the core values and things like that. Let me see if I can go down to like the logos here.
Nice.
Yeah, so see, and then I kind of describe like my, design decisions and all that good stuff, all the exciting things.
It's nice to see the breakdown as well. Again, for anyone who's quite new to like, design and the process, I mean, this is a really perfect way of how you would display,
and
nice
like,
breakdown.
I'm still refining it, of course, too, like my branding presentation. But I found like adding in those like little style pages helps a lot. It helps them visualize how their branding will look in real life. And I always like to add, I know a lot of designers do this too, but I always add like a little mock feed in there too, so that way they can see like how their branding will look on social media. But I know that's actually pretty common throughout the branding space. A lot of
clients do. We do love a mock-up, right? It's mock-ups can sing like 1,000 words to. And again, there's a lot of different mock-ups, and it's a nice little plug here. But again, with Adobe stock, you can get a lot of nice mock-ups for any kind of thing that you're working in. So if you're quite new to that kind of field, use a mock-up and definitely have fun with it.
Yeah, so this is Remi Gold's branding, all stylized and full swing.
Looking sharp, Whitney. I love it. It's such a nice contrast of everything we've got going.
Let me do a little trim view. Yeah.
Nice. Have you got I mean, obviously they're very different, all of them, but are there any sort of like maybe one or two that's really sticking out for you in terms of design before we jump into?
Oh my goodness. I think I love page 1 and 2 the most. I just love this like blockage here. Block. I love that. I just love like the layout of it. This one's fun too. I honestly love all of them. I love the fun. I love like the arches. Like I just love that. Kind of bringing in those like little installations that they build for their clients is just really cool.
It is very cool. I mean, my personal favorite is the sort of bottom left one as well, which one we're doing in Fresco. I think that's a really nice one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this one's one of my favorites too. Yeah. I just love the color combo.
It's a nice overlap. So should we, I mean, we mentioned it before as well. So we've got a nice, awesome artist spotlight to share with you guys. Should we perhaps get into that one? And we can share with our wonderful audience who we have today.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I'm like,
so this is a friend of yours, isn't it? So this is a good friend of yours, right?
Yeah, so Kayla, she is based in Los Angeles. She kind of bounces between Florida and Los Angeles. She's from Orlando, but she just recently moved to LA last year. So she does most of her work obviously in LA, but I did catch her while she was here for the holidays for my own brand photo shoot. And it was amazing. I would show you the photos, but they haven't been edited yet. So we're just gonna, browse through her website. But yeah, she's just she's so talented. Like she's like a gift to the world. Like her talent is such a gift. Like it's just so beautiful and editorial. Like I love it. And I'm very I guess, as a creative, we're naturally picky when it comes to outsourcing and hiring the right people for our own brand. So I am extremely picky when it comes to hiring photographers, because it's I hate being like that or being like this, but I'm like, oh, I just do it myself. Cause it's I just, cause
it's hard, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Cause it's you're an artist too. So, but it's with Kayla, I just knew that she would not disappoint. She would execute my vision perfectly. And our styles are very, very similar. She definitely has that very chic, editorial, feminine, aesthetic. And I love it.
It's beautiful. I mean, one thing I've sort of noticed, and we can obviously browse through the website and see more things, is definitely the skin tones as well, the contrast of the different skin tones. It's beautiful. Really,
it's so important. With her, she prides herself on making sure the skin tones are as true as possible. The lighting as true as possible. She, she just wants basically she wants like the beauty to come through in the photos, which I can definitely like, I can get behind that.
Definitely. And
But
even I
it's
guess
just
like
so
even like the
rich. Like,
clothing as well, right? Like the
yeah,
clothing
it's just
she's
like
used.
the oh my God. And her like just like her process is really like she's so involved in like your process. Like of course, like I had everything like planned out, like look 1, look 2, look 3, like what I wanted to like, execute. But like, she even like helps you like, oh, well, maybe you should, pick out a top that has a little bit more tool to it. So that way, like when you lift up your arm, it'll photograph well. She's very, she pays attention to the details, which
Nice.
I can appreciate because it's like, as like a creative myself, is like, I pay attention to those same details. So
Definitely. I
it
mean,
was a beautiful collaboration.
nice. I mean, just seeing the site, and even the way the
Yeah.
site is even structured, and it's clear. And we touched on it yesterday, that sort of off-white eggshell background. So any
Yeah.
images you use,
Yeah,
it
see,
pokes
like
out.
she's using a very
Oh,
off-white. It's just easier on the eyes versus like using white. Like white always looks great too on a website, but I think using like that off-white is just so
yeah, it's
much.
perfect.
It just helps with the eyes. Yeah, it's just
Really
easy
nice.
to look through.
It's
But
very
like,
nice.
she's so talented. Like everything is just so rich in color. Like I'm obsessed with this. Like, yeah.
I love it. And what I like is, I mean, one thing I've definitely picked up on is diversity as well. I mean, it's a strong collection of like different diversity of skin tones and people from different backgrounds, which I think is great. So
yeah, and I think
really
her website does a great job at like showcasing like her portfolio too. Like it's just so beautiful. Like let me see if I can go to like her.
Yeah, let's explore. Here. Let's have a look at other bits and bobs.
It's just so. This is her. This is Kayla. She's absolutely beautiful. But yeah, no, her talent is out of this world. Like it was just honestly an honor just to work with her. And then that was like one of my goals last year, was back in like 2018, I actually designed this packaging for this company called Nani Box. And they actually hired Kayla to shoot the photography for the box after, of course, the packaging was done and everything. So we kind of had like a beautiful collaboration back in 2018. And then since then, I've just been like, I just want to work with her. Like I have to work with her one day. So like that was a goal of mine last year, was to book a brand shoot with her. And we made it happen on the 28th of December, right before the new year.
Nice. That must feel like a sense of accomplishment as well, right? When you kind of set that goal and you've made it happen.
Yeah.
But
I'm like these like pictures are so like this, like, come on, this is so beautiful.
That's
like
beautiful.
Like see,
and actually,
see how she like with the like the top is like, using this as like using your wardrobe almost as like a prop, to give like more definition to the photo. It's just so beautiful.
I think as well, like you made a good point about even the other you guys collaborating. I mean, that's such a nice sort of skill in itself to collaborate with someone else from a different discipline as well, which is
right.
It's great for that. So really loving that. And just to mention as well, for anyone, obviously today we've got our lovely artist spotlight. So again, if there's something that you would like to do in terms of featuring yourself or your work, definitely submit your recommendations, and we would love to see them. And you can do that via in the chat, in the tab in Behance. You can see the artist spotlight, and you can add your suggestion in there. So you could be up next, hopefully, for our artist spotlight. Do you ever look at the website again, perhaps, and have a little more?
Yeah, I wanted to show this little GIF because it's like I'm obsessed. Like, look how cool. So I'll have a few GIFs too, maybe like 3. So I can't wait to see those. Yeah, no, they're so fun. But yeah, no, the website. Let me see if I can go to her portfolio. Let's go to the fashion. Oh no, let's go to the beauty. Let's just go to fashion.
Let's explore. Let's explore.
But yeah, it's just so beautiful. Yeah. It's just so beautiful. Maybe we'll go to beauty. Okay. This is so beautiful. Yeah. It's just like it's true tones. It's like that's what I love about it. And it's just breathtaking. I love it.
I think you made a good point. It's that attention to detail as well, right? You can see the lighting, everything that she's done. So I mean, Kayla, if you're in the live, I mean,
I think she's traveling back to LA right now.
we'll put you off that one, then it's okay.
I know.
You can watch the stream, but yeah, everything, attention to detail is like really accurate. And
like this is so beautiful. Like I just love how like the newspaper in the foreground, like it's just beautiful. Like it really like makes like your eyes go directly to the face. Like she does really, really good. Like she does an excellent job with like focal points, which like is something that I feel like sometimes it's almost hard to do. I love it. I also
No, I'm a
love her
massive fan
eyebrows
of
too.
I'm a massive fan
Super
of like, I mean,
random.
photography. So I
Yeah.
mean, that's something from my skill. I don't definitely dabble in that, but for anyone who does, I mean, I can definitely appreciate it. It's beautiful
Yeah.
work. Very,
Yeah,
very nice work.
she's so talented. Like her talent is out of this world. It's definitely a gift. Like it's a gift to the world. Like she's a gift to the world. Like this is like so beautiful. Like I wish I can take photos like this. Like
and I can see it as well. The audience in the chat is loving it. We've got Bioli said that's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah,
and Rich said, you know, great work Carla. It's work art.
Yeah, I think I will always work with her. Like I was telling her, like next time I will be in LA and I will shoot with her in LA. Like I will literally travel to her. Like yeah, she's
amazing.
Yeah.
Voodoo Val's loving. She said fleeky brow. She said.
I know. Oh my god, I was like getting kind of distracted by her, like the model's brows. Like the brows were like on point.
I haven't heard that word fleek in a long time, but today I've heard it many times.
I remember when fleek came on people's, you know, radar.
On the radar, yeah.
Yeah, and like someone was like commenting on like Instagram with about my highlighter, and they were like, "Oh, your highlighter is on fleek," and I was like, "Oh my god, is that bad?" Like,
is
I didn't
it back?
remember like and I remember like screenshotting like the comment and sending it to my best friend Janae, and I was like, "Is fleek bad? What does fleek mean?"
So
she was like, "It means on point. It means like you're good." I was like, "Oh, okay."
There's a whole like archive of like words that we need to learn up on.
I feel like I Urban Dictionary something every single day. Like I feel like new terminology is like popping up like left and right, and I feel like I'm getting old. Like I feel like I don't know.
It's definitely true. I mean, there's a new gen, right, of like different things. I mean, the way I say it's funny because even if it's like a new gen, it's still stuff that's positive, right? So it's nice stuff. It's just different ways of saying that it's nice.
Right. And I'm like, what does that even mean? Like, it's like I feel like I'm constantly catching up, like with like the trends, like the new phrases and stuff. Yeah. I love them though. Like I love all the cool phrases popping up, but yeah.
So I mean, is there any more sort of tabs we could explore? Because I'd say we're about sort of 10 more minutes left.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see her beauty. Like, see, I love how rich and bright this is. Like, this is so beautiful.
Nice choice.
I even love the font. Yeah, I love the font. Snap. I know when I was telling Kayla that I was like doing her artist spotlight, she was like, "Don't critique my website." I was like, "I'm
so funny."
not. She was like, "I hope you do critique it." I'm like, "I'm not going to critique your website." But no, her website is perfect. Like it literally is getting the job done. Like this is like a beautiful website. Like this is so cute. Like this is so pretty. Like I just And
with an artist spotlight, I mean, it's definitely. Oh, sorry. No, go for it.
No, I was gonna say I think this is probably one of my favorites, and I think the eyeshadow is doing it for me. Like
it is lovely.
But everyone knows that I love color. Like so, this is just like I'm like in heaven looking at this. This is so beautiful.
And I was gonna say with an artist spotlight, it's definitely not like a critique. It's definitely more. We're paying homage to you guys. I mean, this is for us. It's celebrating. It's celebrating the community, so yeah.
I was like, you're so silly. I would never do that. I'm like, this is a hype session. Like, you are the bomb.com. Like, this is so cool.
The bomb.com. I love that.
Yeah, like she's so beautiful. Like, and I love the eyeshadow. I would love to know who the makeup artist was. Like, this is so beautiful.
Yeah, great. But no, I'd say that's a lovely. Like, I mean, this was a really nice artist spotlight. To sort of pay homage and. Again, Kayla, like absolutely, you know, congrats on such a beautiful, beautiful website.
This is beautiful. Yeah, I have no complaints.
It's all good. I can see as well. Everyone's loving the work from the content from the.
Yeah, comments. This is really pretty too. Yeah.
Nice, but I would say so. We're about maybe sort of 8 minutes or so. Should we perhaps go back and maybe do like a nice recap of what we've done? A bit of yesterday and a bit of obviously, well, mainly today as well. And then obviously even more importantly towards the end how people can connect with you and social media plug away. So perhaps a recap first.
All right, so Remi Gold. So we did a full branding suite for Remi Gold. So we talked strategy, we created a mood board, we developed a color palette, and we put together a nice little font suite. And then we, designed some logos, so very wedding stationery inspired, very chic, very feminine, to target, those wedding clients. Yeah, and then we went, you know, we did some designing on the iPad with Adobe Fresco. We designed some patterns to really bring in that fun, creative side of Remi Gold and kind of bring in that Austin feel. Yeah, and so
and it was nice to sort of see again you sort of, you know, both different, you know, softwares, Illustrator, Fresco.
Yeah.
You sort of see how the two can integrate. So it's been cool.
And I love the feature that like with Adobe Fresco, it's like you can like literally send your work directly to Illustrator. Like you don't need to do no airdropping and all of that, you know, stuff. Like I love that feature that Adobe has where you're able to share, you know, send it to Illustrator on the desktop. And I love that. It makes my process a lot smoother.
That's a really good point. Just to, I mean, just to add on that, I mean, there's a lot more as well, like updates and software updates, especially, you know, into the new year. So definitely check out with Adobe and Creative Cloud, you know, the different updates. And again, you made a good point, Whitney. It's just to make your life so much easier, right? And more streamlined.
Yeah.
So definitely get updating and get experimenting.
But yeah, so yeah, and this is what Remi Gold looks like in real life, like all stylized, pretty, colorful, happy, inviting. I love it.
Nice.
Yeah, so
and then,
pretty.
And perhaps as well, you had the, again, for those who maybe joined a bit late, the presentation doc that you had as well. We could do like maybe one final flick of that.
Yeah,
and then, you know, audience get an idea of how you can present.
Yeah, so, so it's just like a nice little like presentation and introductory into like the branding concepts. So it's just kind of lays out like their brand personality. It you know, it lists out their target audience, their like brand core values, you know, and then it kind of adds in like the little stylized pages as well too. So that way they can kind of visualize while they're browsing through the presentation, you know, just like a little key takeaway. And yeah, and then you kind of go into like the logo suite.
And was this design like InDesign? What did you use to create the presentation?
I actually used InDesign, yeah. And I actually right now I'm actually just using a template that Wayfair Design Studio you know, sells to designers. So like I kind of like tweaked it a little bit to kind of be a little bit more catered to like how I do my presentations, but I just use her template and it's really nice. It you know, it targets all the key components in a brand identity that you should, you know, include in your branding presentation. But yeah, it's Adobe InDesign. Yeah, so I just kind of like, you know, obviously I take, you know, the pages from Adobe Illustrator and then I put them into the Adobe InDesign.
Nice. And I mean, it's been, I mean, absolutely great to sort of see you know, work in platforms and the processes. And one thing as well, definitely for those in the audience, I have no doubt they would love to know, how do they get in contact with you, Whitney? And, you know, social media, like plug away. This is your
let's be
like
friends
5 minutes moments of fame. Like do it.
I am definitely taking friend applications. So you can find me on Instagram at WK Creative. You can find me on Facebook at WK Creative Studio or online at wkcreativestudio.com. Like I said, I'm taking friend applications, so let's be friends on Instagram.
Have like maybe perhaps like look at your Instagram page or like website so we can get like we can show the audience and definitely have a nice
so here's my website again. I'm like redesigning it, you know. Let's see if I can go to my Instagram. See, this is my Instagram. But yeah, let's be friends. Obviously very happy with the colors. I am not shy.
The brand palette goes from social right into, I love it.
Yeah, I feel like my personality definitely comes through with my work and just how I stylize everything and how I just brand my whole entire life. But yeah.
That's great. I mean, we've got some absolutely lovely comments as well. So we've had who's been an absolute star for both features. So definitely watching these again. This was great. Both episodes. So no, it's been really good. And your website as well. So we've seen your Instagram and your website. You sort of looked for that as well, didn't we?
It's pretty standard. Again, my website will be a little bit more reflective of just kind of like me now as a designer. So I'm really excited to get that launched. It'll probably be like in spring, so probably March. I'm working with a copywriter right now, so we're, you know, in the middle of it.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm loving that sort of carousel, even going by the overlap, and it's like I can see like a distinctive tone between what your site's looking at now and then the brands that you're working with, which is quite nice. You can see
the growth.
You see that correlation.
I can see the growth at least.
I'm excited.
I'm excited for it to be more reflective of me as how I am now as a designer. So I'm excited.
Definitely.
I'm excited to refine and get it launched.
And then one final thing, just before we kind of wrap up, I mean, there's even the services on the tab. Like, so again, for those perhaps even watching it, potentially could be new clients of yours. There's any sort of the service tabs in your website so that we know exactly what you could offer in terms of like work?
Yeah, so I mean, I specialize in beauty, lifestyle, and fashion brands. But I mean, I'm honestly like open, like if like I cater to those brands that have like kind of like a feminine, modern, and chic like design style to them. But I'm open to, you know, like just, you know, send me an email or, you know, shoot me an inquiry, like because it's like I'm like again if my energy is aligned with it, like I'll bring the project on. Like it doesn't really necessarily have to be within those niches. I just have to be passionate about, you know, or feel connected to, you know, your mission and, you know, like your passion. I got to feel it too. I got to feel like aligned to it.
And I like it's like a step-by-step as well, like break. I mean, I got that vibe when I saw your website for the first time. It's like it's really walking through the client of exactly what they would need, right? So yeah, I really like it.
So feminine, modern, and chic brand design for beauty, wellness, and lifestyle brands.
Okay, so I mean that's a lovely way for our audience to connect with you. And I mean, it's been an absolute pleasure to kind of have you for, you know, these kind of past 2 days. I mean, they've kind of flown by. I mean, how have you found the experience so far from yesterday to today? Like, it's been amazing.
My nerves weren't as bad today. I was a little nervous yesterday, but I think within like 10 minutes of our stream yesterday, like I was just like, okay, I got this. This is fun. But and today I felt a little bit more confident. And also I'm not feeling as like sick today. Like yesterday I was feeling pretty sick and I was really tired. But today I'm like,
the energy came through. It's like good. It's been a good
energy's coming through. I said a little prayer. I'm like, I just need some energy for at least like the stream, and then I can go to sleep after.
No, it's been great, and the comments have been honestly really, really positive. I can see a lot of people that have kind of, you know, interact with yourself, and obviously, you know, sent some really lovely comments. So it's been really nice to kind of see you and host you for this process. So
it's been fun. It's been such a joy, like a complete honor, honestly. To be on this stream with you and just to share my process. It's just such an intimate thing as a designer to share our process. So to have like, you know, like nice like feedback from it, it's definitely, it feels good.
And it's always positive. It can be quite, I guess, like a daunting experience, but I think once you get into that flow of it and everyone's, you know, sending nice comments, it's just a celebration of, you know, design, right?
Like, and okay, cool, people do like me.
It's like, definitely, it's been good. I think it's been good, and again, all the comments have been all very positive as well. So it's been nice. So again, that was a nice little recap that you did over the past, you know, sort of 2 days or so. And I would say sort of as a last minute thing, kind of, you know, just to wrap up shortly. So, you know, we've definitely got in the next day, so stick around. We're going to have the XD Day Creative Challenge with Jessie Showalter. And I mean, it's been amazing, Whitney, to have you for the past 2 days and to host you as well. And again, we've got some lovely comments in the chat coming through. We've had Mwende, who said, I've learned a lot today. Yulia, who said, thank you.
Good.
Great. And then, Richard said as well, I can't wait to watch over these 2 days the 2 replays. So great job.
Awesome.
So it's been an absolute
It was nice
pleasure
to meet everybody. It was nice to chat with people.
So it's been good. It's been positive vibes for everyone, definitely. So I would say, I mean, a massive, obviously, thank you to everyone who streamed, and a big thank you, of course, to our Adobe team, and of course Voodoo Val for making sure everything in the chat has been nicely moderated and it's been nice and safe. And again, a massive thank you to you, Whitney, because you've been an absolute star.
No, thank you. Oh my gosh. I wouldn't be able to do it without you, so I'm grateful. Thank you.
Definitely. I think for me as well,
our Adobe team, we couldn't have done it without them either.
Of course. And again, it's just like a final sort of, you know, 2-minute thought. Is just, you know, the idea of just seeing your process and like seeing how, you know, you operate and designing, you know, working across the different platforms.
Hopefully it inspires somebody to just, you know, if they're like thinking of, you know, opening up a design studio, hopefully it inspires them to just start, you know, because you just got to start somewhere, you know. And it's like, you know, it's like normal to like learn. Like, I mean, I'm still learning. Like I learn something new every single day. So I mean, you're going to learn every single day. So, I mean, just got to start somewhere.
Because you're just very quickly, I mean, you're on that sort of last minute as well, your sort of second year into your freelance, right, as well.
Yeah.
So that's good. So yeah, no, a massive thank you. And again, I'm excited to see, you know, your progress and to sort of see how you go into your next year of a designer as a freelancer. So
thank you.
Absolute pleasure. So again, a massive thank you to everyone who's tuned in. And of course, take care, be safe, and we'll hopefully see you guys very, very soon. All right, take care.
Bye.
Bye.